I now recognize Mr. Marshall for 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, good morning. Kind of running back and forth between a couple committee meetings as usual for us. So thank you for your testimony. So proud of what you all are doing. One of our jobs in Congress is always to figure out what's working well and to reemphasize this. And I was able to take the chairman of this committee, Chairman Smith, to Wichita State University and share with him some of the things happening on their innovation campus as well. So very proud to see how this is working. I would just like to hear a few more positive stories and give you all a chance just to share positive stories of how this is happening, and maybe to start with Dr. Tilbury and go down the line. A great real story that you would share.
So I can tell you the story of one of my colleagues, Professor Avtar from the University of Michigan, Mechanical Engineering. So when he started as an assistant professor, he got his NSF Career Award, which is for junior faculty. And then he got another basic fundamental research award from the engineering directorate. And he developed a new way to kinematically remap your hand movements into the end of an end effector for remote surgery. Purely mechanically, no electric controls required. So he got an I-Corps grant and started a company, and then got an SBIR, and built this company that's building these medical devices, very low cost, very safe, to be used in multiple dimensions. And now I'll be happy to say he's back on campus and got another fundamental research award. And so we'll see if he, now that this company is launched, we'll see if he develops another new technology. We're very excited.
Well, great. I keep telling everybody that innovation can do more to drive the cost of healthcare down than any piece of legislation we can write if the federal government would just get out of their way. Mr. Blank.
Yes, Congressman. I'm going to give you a story, probably one that doesn't get told often, and that's about failing fast. One of the great things about the I-Corps program is that it's hard to avoid bad news because it's in front of your face. Our best example is when we taught the class at UCSF, University of California at San Francisco, for life sciences. The chief of surgery of UCSF said, well, I'll set up a team too just so I could act as a role model for my students. And he had an invention that he had been working on for 3 years in the lab for hernia repair. And Dr. Hobart Harris said, well, this will be pretty easy. I'll just get out of the building and I'll talk to the other surgeons. I've been working on this for 2 or 3 years with my co-surgeons. Obviously, everybody will love this. The third week of class, he comes back and his face is pale. He said, no one else wants it. And in fact, at the end of the class, he said, you know what? This isn't a viable commercial technology. And he still, after 4 years after the class, is proselytizing the fact that not only can this help you build a company, it could also help you not waste years of your time and tens of millions of dollars of both government capital and private capital.
Thanks. Yeah, Dr. Chang.
So I mentioned the bioengineering class earlier, but I'll give another story that also ties into engineering. But starts with research. There's a professor named David Tilley in our School of Agriculture, really innovative research, and he went through a introduction to I-Corps program that we offered locally. Saw, wow, this is how I can explore whether I can apply my technology out in the marketplace. He went to a national cohort in Texas. That was about a year ago. They've launched a company. They've since gotten follow-on funding from the Maryland State Economic Development Agencies. So all the things that you'd like to see. But the big sea change for him was also that he wanted to apply this throughout his entire research portfolio and get his other colleagues in the School of Agriculture to also be looking for applications and applying to I-Corps. So he's actually teaching this in his classes. He teaches a class now where he teaches I-Corps principles. And he's applying for an NSF grant that is an interdisciplinary a grant addressing multiple areas from technology, but a big emphasis is training graduate students. A key part of his proposal is training our graduate students in these I-Corps principles so that they can learn these and take it forward as well.
Thank you. Dr. Carter.
Yeah, I want to give an example of an undergraduate, because we hadn't heard very many undergraduate stories yet. And I've had students, my site just got funded like this year, so it's just started, but we did some I-Corps classes. I've had students through that, so I'll show an example. One of them is this guy, Suk Singh, who basically had a technology where he had basically was taking kids' handwriting, you know, when they were 4, 5, 6 years old, and allowing them to convert that over to Java code, JavaScript. And he went through the program and realized that the really big need that was there was that teachers don't know how to treat teach computer programming, right? They have no concept of how to do that, especially at the younger ages. However, they have no problem teaching basic math. So what he was able to do is pivot his company in order to create a product that allowed teachers to teach their kids the basics of JavaScript programming through math, by having them do math work and having them create games and objects and artwork. And he was able to, with no money invested whatsoever, he's expanded now to, I think, 5 or 6 schools in Santa Cruz, bringing in $20,000, $30,000 revenue a month now to keep his company supported, and is looking at growing nationally. And said he did this all just bootstrapped it.
Thanks for sharing your stories, and I yield back.
Thank you. I now